that emotional distance you feel from her, that weird icy tension that you can't quite put your finger on. That is not an accident, it is a signal, a warning light flashing red on the dashboard of your relationship. But you men, you ignore it, you rationalize it, and you pay the price for your blindness. You're looking at her for reasons she's pulling away. You're blaming your job, your friends, your own stress. Stop it. The truth, the brutal, unfiltered truth, is simpler and deeper than you want to believe. She's hiding something, often from herself, and her body, her subconscious, is broadcasting the reality of her current situation. I'm talking about sexual starvation, and it changes a woman in subtle, toxic ways. Today, I'm giving you the 10 undeniable signs she hasn't had sex in a long, long time. Every single one of these signs looks harmless on the surface. They look like mere quirks, like small relationship problems. They are not. They are red flags, warnings that you are dealing with a woman who is sexually frustrated, emotionally bottled, and ripe for volatility. Pay attention, because most of you miss all 10. Before we dive into the cold, hard facts, the truth that others are too scared to tell you, I need you to do two things. Smash the like button right now. This is how we defeat the censorship of the truth. And more importantly, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. I am your guide through the relationship jungle, and you need my help. And one last thing, I want to know where the men who crave the truth are hiding. Comment below and let me know what country or city you're watching from. Let's build this global army of men who value honesty. Let's start with the basics. Here's where you get it wrong and what's really happening. 1. The sudden, intense focus on productivity and new hobbies. You think it's ambition. You men love to see a woman who is busy. You think, wow, she's so driven. She's starting a pottery class. She's working overtime. She's obsessed with decluttering the pantry. Here's where you get it wrong. Her calendar is not filled with productive goals. It's filled with distractions. The psychological mechanism. What's really happening is she's channeling a powerful, built-up biological energy, her libido, into meaningless tasks because she has no healthy, immediate, or satisfying outlet for it. The frantic energy is a mask for her frustration. A sexually satisfied woman has an inner calm. A starved one is always looking for the next chore. 2. The extreme sensitivity and volatility over small issues. The manosphere calls this the beach shield, up full blast. You spill a little water and suddenly it's a full-blown crisis. She's snapping at you, she's tearing up over a minor disagreement, or she's giving you the cold shoulder for an entire day because you forgot to take out the recycling. You think it's just stress. You rationalize, she's just been working hard, she's tired. The psychological mechanism. The truth is, her nervous system is tightly wound, like a spring ready to break. Sexual release is a massive relief valve for emotional and psychological tension. Without it, the smallest tremor can set off an explosion. Her disproportionate anger is a sign of an undischarged system. 3. Hyperfocus on appearance, but only when going out. Notice how she spends 2 hours doing her hair and makeup to go to a friend's birthday party or an evening networking event, but she barely puts on a bra when she's home alone with you. You think she's being respectful of the event? The psychological mechanism. What's really happening is that she is seeking validation and attention, but not from you, her partner. She needs external reassurance of her desirability because the primary source of that reassurance, a robust sexual relationship, is missing. She's unconsciously putting her fishing line out into the public pond. 4. The best friend syndrome. Treating you like a roommate. She tells you all her secrets. She cries on your shoulder about her coworker drama. You guys watch documentaries together. But the physical intimacy, it's completely dead. You think it's a deeper emotional connection. You tell your friends, we're best friends first. The psychological mechanism. This is a classic deflection. She is getting all the comfort and companionship from you without offering the vulnerability and raw intimacy that sex requires. She has successfully compartmentalized you into a non-threatening, asexual, safe zone, which is her subconscious way of avoiding the pressure to perform sexually. 5. Obsessive control over your finances and spending. You buy a new tool or a shirt, and suddenly it's a congressional inquiry. She is hypercritical of every dollar you spend, every slight deviation from the budget. You think she's being financially responsible and is planning for the future. The psychological mechanism. Control over the purse strings is often a proxy for control over the relationship when other forms of intimacy and dominance are absent. Her emotional insecurity is manifesting as a need for absolute control over tangible assets, a desperate attempt to create stability in a relationship that is fundamentally out of sync. 6. Her feet and hands are always tucked away. Watch her on the couch. Is she sitting cross-legged with her hands tucked under her thighs or gripping a pillow? When you approach, does she subtly shift her body away from you? You think she's just cold or comfortable. The psychological mechanism. This is simple textbook body language that you're ignoring. It's a subconscious shielding. She is creating a physical, closed-off barrier. The hands and feet are high-energy zones for physical touch, and when a woman is subconsciously resisting sexual contact, she closes those channels. She is literally putting up her defenses. 7. The unnecessary need for extreme personal space. She recoils slightly when you reach for her hand. She moves from the shared sofa to a different chair. She requires an hour of alone time after coming home from work, not to decompress, but to hide. You think she's respecting her own boundaries. The psychological mechanism. This isn't about boundaries, it's about avoidance conditioning. Her mind is linking physical proximity to the expectation of sex, and because she's either unwilling, unable, or simply turned off, she creates a physical exclusion zone to eliminate the possibility of that confrontation. 8. The lack of subtle flirtation and playful teasing. Remember when she used to lightly slap your arm or give you a sly wink from across the room? When she used to playfully insult you? Now, your interactions are purely utilitarian. Did you pay the bill? Did you remember to buy milk? You think you're in the mature phase of a relationship. The psychological mechanism. Flirting is a low-stakes form of sexual energy exchange. When a woman is sexually shut down, that playful primal drive evaporates. The conversation becomes transactional because the underlying current of desire, the energy that gives a relationship its charge, has been systematically deactivated. 9. The sudden, aggressive focus on your fitness and health. This is where it gets psychologically painful. She starts making comments like, "You should really go to the gym more," or "That shirt is getting a little tight, honey." You think it's tough love and she's just worried about your well-being. The psychological mechanism. This is classic projection and justification. She is unconsciously looking for flaws in you to justify her lack of desire. By labeling your body or your effort as the problem, she can shift the responsibility for the dead bedroom away from herself and onto your shoulders. She is creating a rational excuse for her own emotional withdrawal. The most important sign. Emphasis 10, the ultimate test, the immediate hard stop argument. When you attempt initiation. This is the most undeniable, painful, and final sign. You make a simple move, a gentle kiss, a hand on her thigh, a loving hug that lingers a little too long. And what happens? She doesn't just say no. She immediately turns the entire interaction into a cold, hard argument. She snaps, "Why do you always have to make things sexual? You are only touching me because you want something." Or, the ultimate betrayal. She brings up an unrelated fight from 3 weeks ago. The psychological mechanism. This is the nuclear option. She is so deeply averse to the pressure of physical intimacy that she creates an immediate, overwhelming dose of negative emotional context to make any further advances impossible. She kills the mood with hostility because she lacks the courage to admit the deeper, more complex truth. This aggressive deflection is the sound of her libido screaming no through a fog of unresolved tension. If this is happening, you are not in a partnership. You are in a Cold War standoff. You men, you need to stop living in denial. That sinking feeling in your gut, the one you dismiss as relationship anxiety, it is your primitive brain, your instinct, telling you the truth. She is signaling you, and her signals are clear. A sexually starved relationship is a relationship starved of emotional warmth, playfulness, and true intimacy. You are not her partner, you are a utility. Your job now is not to beg or chase, your job is to acknowledge the truth. Look at the 10 signs. Are you seeing 4, 6, all 10? It's time to stop the excuses. Either you fix it with clarity, authority, and honest communication about the root cause, or you walk away with your standards and your dignity intact. Never compromise the core of what a masculine, high-value man needs. If this video woke you up, if it gave you the clarity you desperately needed, you already know what to do. Like this video again. And for a final challenge, share this with a man who is still living in denial. Tag him, text it to him, save him from the blindness that kills a man's confidence. Your truth is your power. Use it. I'll see you in the next video.